what does your journey through business look like? Like, I imagine you've learned just so many different things. Like, and I feel like it falls back on developing those processes and systems, and figuring out how we can carry that stuff in day-to-day life.
Yeah, I mean, there's a book sitting on your shelf right behind you that's made a huge difference for me, Traction. It's really, when I look back to 2004 when we started the affiliate business, at our peak, we had 66 employees.
Wow.
It was poker affiliate. So like, I mean, it exploded. We were, again, kind of just in the right place, right time. And I've always been like a strike while the iron is hot kind of guy. And so when I'll tinker with a lot of different things that don't work, or just like, whatever. I don't care if I lose money on them, just more, let's just kind of throw a bunch of different spaghetti at the wall and test things out. And then when I find something that does work, I kind of have that all in personality. And so that's certainly how it was with the poker affiliate days. And that's how it was, for us in this Amazon world. I feel like when we first discovered Amazon in 2015, I immediately realized that like this wasn't going to last forever. I think that there's the types of businesses you find that you can take your time and grow them slowly. And I think that those are all great sound pieces of advice, but also in the, when you have something like the Amazon world, if you don't realize that things are going to change rapidly and whatever you're doing today is not going to work tomorrow, and this opportunity window is going to shut, then I think you're kind of crazy. And so we definitely took an all-in, pretty crazy, put the pedal to the metal kind of mentality from 2015 to 2019 when we sold one of our businesses.
Okay.
But you had asked kind of, in terms of systems and structure, which I kind of got off the topic, I apologize. The thing that's really helped us over the last couple of years has been Traction, because I really realized that there was always something wrong through all these businesses that I had done, from 2004 up till we read Traction in 2016, I think it was. And it was just, I had the plan in my mind. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, but no one else really knew what we were doing. And what I wanted to do often changed yearly, monthly, sometimes weekly or daily. I wake up in the morning and I want to go do X, Y, Z. And the next day I would want to go do A, B, C. And I would go tell my employees this. And they're like, well, which one's more important? And I didn't even know the answer to it a lot of times. It was the typical visionary entrepreneur problem. And so after reading Traction, we hired a COO, someone who was a good implementer. And they are the shield between me and basically all of our staff. We have right now 26
I like how
employees.
you worded it as a shield.
Well, I mean, because I know what happens, right? Especially when you read Traction, it really kind of brings it to light. And I had to look at myself and realize some hard things. One of the things that entrepreneurs don't like to do, or just type A personalities don't like to do, is admit that they're wrong or not good at something. It's really difficult to say, because I'm super competitive. So it's hard for me to say, like, I suck at this, whatever it is. Like, I want to be good at everything. I want to win at everything, but that's not possible. It's impossible. And so after reading the book, I think it was a combination. That book was at the right place at the right time. Had I read that book at 25, I probably would have just ignored it.
Right.
Quite frankly. I mean, I think a lot of it is the light bulb moment has to come from personal experiences. And so the light bulb moment for me was just like, holy crap, this is what's happening in our business. Like, I realize this now, that I'm constantly operating like a zigzag all over the place. We never take the time to actually finish the plan. And anything I had done in my life to that point where I had actually, just kind of finished the plan, worked really well. There was a few examples of that. And so we hired the COO, and as I said, I really look at myself or her as the shield between the staff, because like, I don't want to take them off course, right? I want to lay out a plan for them, and I need her to, like, whenever I'm like, oh, let's go do this or that, to put her foot down and say, no, Mike, like, you've told me that this is what we want to do. Why are we changing it? Like, this is going to cause all these other ripple effects in the business, and it makes me be aware of that. And now that we're a few years into this, it's no longer hard for me to, like, to stay the course. But certainly in the beginning, it was much more difficult. And so what we do is we plan out, we've done our 5-year plan with Traction. They asked you to do a 10-year plan. I think that's kind of crazy in
Yeah.
the e-commerce world. So we did a 5-year plan. And really what it comes down to at the end of the day, I think everybody, you don't have to follow the book word for word. I think that's also a mistake. I think you adapt to what works best for you. And so for us, what really works good is a year plan. We really put a lot of emphasis. We spend a lot of time at the end of the year laying out, this is what we want to get done for the year. These are our goals for a year. This is a period of time where we can all get our heads around it. Things are going to change over this next year, but things change every year, but not so much that we're going to have a business that looks so different at the end of the year that we can't recognize it anymore. And so we'll lay those things out, and then we break it out by quarter. And so those are 13-week sprints. And I feel like my responsibility now is to help plan those quarters and then to leave people the hell alone. And
Nice.
it's really difficult at times because in week 1 or 2, inevitably, it's like, oh man, there's like this new thing I found on MDS. Let's go try this, And so I have to do that. Like I have to personally be the one to go try it. And if it's something that I'm like, let's go do this at scale, I have to wait until week 14, to the next quarter, basically, to say, this is what we're going to do next quarter. And meanwhile, all the things I thought about the previous quarter, they'll get implemented in that quarter. And what it does is it allows us to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Employee, like, here's a list of things we want you to get done over this next 13 weeks. In large part, we are not a micromanagement organization. You just go get your stuff done. You have your daily responsibilities and your weekly responsibilities as well, but these are things over and above that we want you to accomplish. You figure out a way to get that stuff done. There's no excuse at the end of the quarter, like, why it isn't done. You have to go get it done and just go get it done. And we allow them to have autonomy and take ownership and get these things done. And they know, because we've now been doing this for multiple years, that we aren't going to throw them a curveball in the middle of that time period, which I think is the fair thing to do. And so that's really, really helped in terms of systems and processes.